Hello, welcome back to Monday All Weekend. It's
Hi.
Monday.
Yep.
It is the 11th of September, 9/11.
Mhm.
We are live. Just real quick before we get into the episode,
Mm.
um, just mention that, got to remember all the people who perished in 9/11 and all of the first responders who responded, and those of which also perished. So, yep, just a
Right.
nice, heartwarming thing to open up with.
It is weird, how random the time is because it just kinda falls in the middle of what feels like a normal month, you know?
Well, I mean, I think the thinking of it was 911.
Oh, really?
911's kind of our,
But 911 was
or
around before this, right?
yeah.
That's where the conspiracies come in.
Well, yeah, yeah. I
Well,
mean,
no, they didn't pick the day. Who the two
yeah,
terrorists picked the day.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, they did?
Yes, to land on 911, 9/11. There's a reason that it's today.
You
Interesting.
someone
It'd be
you
weird if
know
it were like, August 20th or something.
I mean,
someone
really?
said
Weirder than it already is? What did somebody say, Joshua?
never mind. That this is a topic for off the podcast, off the stream.
Have you
What
guys
what
heard of this Star Wars movie that this Levy guy is working on? Have you seen stirrings about this?
Levy,
Who?
Mr. Levy?
The guy who made Real Steel. The guy with Hugh
Mm-mm.
Jackman.
I
Have you
haven't
guys not
heard of
heard of
it.
this at
No.
all?
Mm-mm.
So, I don't know, he
I've
gives an
heard of Real
update. It's
Steel.
not much of an update at all, honestly. All it is basically like, "Hey, we're doing it, and we're on a break because of the strikes, and we were having some movement, and then we didn't." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting when people, like, write articles, what that means. Sean Levy is the
I feel
director's
like
name.
I feel like this is kind of, we don't really have a news story, so write
It's not really.
something, you know,
Exactly, and,
get
there's
something
a
out
lot.
there.
'Cause some of these businesses are built on writing articles for news about
Mm,
movies, especially, and so I'm surprised at how many, since we started this channel or doing these lives or hitting people up with kinda like what's happening, it takes us, doing research, and in the process of doing research, we learn that a lot of these articles for news are just fluff for people
yeah.
to, like, click on
Oh
their
my gosh,
link.
I go look for stories and stuff for, the podcast or for this, and
Mhm.
you gotta scroll through like 15, 16, 20 stories before you find something that's interesting,
Yeah.
that's relatively recent, and all the rest of the stuff is like, here's so and so doing something. I don't know. Chris Evans got married
Yeah.
to
Right.
what's her name? Alba Baptista.
I think that's probably correct.
Yeah,
I don't
she's 26
For
and
real
he is
though?
42.
Wow.
That's a fun age
That's
difference.
a fun age difference.
Fun. How many years is that?
I don't know.
That
I
you
just
said 26?
Yeah, something like, yeah. I just thought it was, and I guess they did that like
That's 16
at
years.
at home. They just
16 years too late.
they got married uh at like his house or something.
Mhm. Um,
Which,
well,
whatever.
steering away from some Chris Evans being a weirdo, uh,
Nobody said he was a
on
weirdo.
other news, okay, so on Monday,
Mhm.
today, we had a podcast come out on Patreon where we ranked all of the DreamWorks animations, or at least most of them, right? Our
The ones our
generations.
generations, yeah.
I think we stopped at Megamind as far as
Mhm.
the order of how they came out. So there's like 21 titles.
Yeah.
That prompted me to last night watch Shrek
Oh,
2 because I
yeah?
needed to see if it held up. And I have
It
to
does.
I have to be honest, it's exactly what I remember, but there are two top shelf jokes that I do not fully understand. I didn't understand when I watched them, because I'm pretty sure the last time I watched this movie, I was like 13 or 14.
What were the jokes?
The jokes was the union joke. He's like, when Shrek comes into the fairy godmother's place, and he's like,
Mhm.
fairy godmother will not be seeing anybody. And he goes, "That's all right, pal. We're from the union." Just like, and then he's like, "Oh, right, right." And he turns the thing away, and he's like, "Have you been feeling at all degraded or depressed?" He's like, "A little." You don't even have that,
Yeah,
That is funny.
that's a lot of commentary in there.
yeah, that was a whole top shelf joke that I thought was good that I never really understood. The other the other one was really quick and simple. If you don't think about it, you didn't catch it. When
Mm.
he's reading the happily ever after potion bottle, he
Mhm.
goes, "Beauty divine, maximum strength." And then he just moves on.
Well,
Maximum strength.
when they're reading through those, when like Puss is up on the
Right.
shelf reading through them, they read like uh they read like performance enhancing
Right.
things that you see at the gas station. It's so funny.
There was also another decent one that just made me start giggling, almost uncontrollably by myself in the dark last night. It was when
Yeah.
fairy godmother was like looking at books. She's like, "Oh, no ogres," and throwing them in the back. And the list that she reads off, the ending is such a good joke, because she's like, Snow White, Thumbelina, Sleeping Beauty, and then she ends with Pretty Woman.
Pretty.
She's like, "No, no, no ogres."
I
Such a
just
good
love
jokes.
it's not even a joke. It's just the concept of like, Pinocchio and the pigs and the big bad
Mhm.
wolf, and they're just
Yeah.
all chilling at Shrek's house watching TV.
Yeah.
I just love that
Oh,
concept.
freaking and that's another hilarious bit, is when they switch to the Tonight on Nights.
Nights, it's
And
cops.
and and you hear Donkey as the stallion.
Police brutality,
"Ooh, police brutality."
And then they're grinding pepper into his
Yeah.
eyes, peppers like pepper
He's like,
spray.
"I warned you. You're grind."
Yeah,
I
that's
gotta
good
say,
stuff.
look, it's a good
is funny.
movie. It's funny. There's a lot of good
It's
jokes in Shrek
funny.
2.
Yeah.
You just to tease the podcast a little bit.
Look, I did.
You ranked it a little too high for my taste, but it is
Josh doesn't like
a
funny
good movie.
and
Look, it
entertaining.
made me giggle. I've seen that movie countless times, but it's been a long time since I watched it, and I rewatched it last night, and it made me giggle, all right, out loud. So I don't know what to
It
tell you.
do tickle the giggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes
Um,
me laugh.
I don't know. I don't even know what we're starting with for this
So we're starting
first
with
thing.
some news that's going around that Joshua brought to the table was, let's see. So let me go to this. All right. The Little Mermaid live action remakes breaks Disney Plus records. So it just went on Disney Plus apparently, right?
Yes, last Wednesday, I think. I could be wrong about that, but I think it was last Wednesday.
Right. Okay. And so they're basically saying that this the records, it's kind of like, so what they have to say is Disney Plus movie premiered on the streaming platform since okay, let me read this. Broke records and became the most viewed Disney movie premiere on the streaming platform since Hocus Pocus 2 last year. I don't know if that means Hocus Pocus did as good, or it's just like it's been a year since we saw something perform well, I
Mhm.
guess.
Yeah.
The company revealed the live action remake has been viewed 16 million times in the past 5 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's
it's
significant.
Well, I mean,
it's
it's Disney reporting Disney's numbers. So how
right.
trustworthy is that? I don't know.
It's the
True,
same
but
kind of
what
thing.
why would they lie about that?
There's a lot of reasons why they would
There's
lie.
a lot of reasons to lie.
I mean, for one, you don't want to be seen in the marketplace as a joke. So you
It's
have
like,
your
no, look, this
reputation.
movie is successful.
I
Even
mean,
on Disney Plus,
gotta-
it's successful.
I gotta confess something. There was a lot of controversy around the movie, so I had to hit it up. I had to.
Did you watch
keep
it?
at
It
it.
was one of those
Yeah.
16 mil.
I
Did
wanted
2
to
hours
watch
feel
it.
too long?
No, I feel
2
I
hours was a
feel
good
like it
length for the
was
movie?
they no, I feel like it was too short. I wanted another 30 minutes to it. There was parts of the movie that they breezed past that
Hmm.
I wanted more of. They didn't go into depth about specific things, and I wanted a
Were
little
there
bit more,
any
to be
were there
honest.
any big, detours from the original story, or did it feel just kinda like a live action remake?
It felt mostly like a live action remake, except to the point where the island or the place where the prince lives
Mhm.
felt they definitely Disney was definitely trying to make it an island region,
Right.
where in the original cartoon movie, they did not have that. Like, they were trying to make it I don't even know what island region they were supposed to be making it,
I think it's
but
supposed to be
because I didn't
Caribbean-ish.
Yeah, I did
Caribbean.
like, like Jamaica or something, but
Right.
Hmm.
they they definitely were trying to do something with it and kind of give it more exclusive, like, to have an excluded cast, I guess, and
Okay.
be able to excuse the fact that Ariel is, um, eh, Ariel, how they just
Race
changed
swapped.
yeah, race swapped Ariel and stuff.
Hmm.
So this is actually something that's interesting that I did want to discuss with you guys because we tend to lean critical at times for certain things, especially with what Disney's been doing. So um, my thought is, do we truly have an issue with? Because if it feels similar to just a true to the story, but they race swapped, or completely deterred from the story, like what we think they're about to do with Snow White, right?
Mhm.
And we have an issue with both, which is more egregious as far as just like making your film long and boring. It's just a remake that no one asked for, or um, something that's like completely ruining the source material or the original story.
Well, Josh said he was telling me after he watched the movie. He said, all in all, you weren't too upset with the movie itself.
No, no.
It felt lackluster, poor
So
delivery, bland, no
Hmm.
emotion, that kind
yeah,
of
I mean,
stuff.
all of the live actions have been this where specific characters, maybe not every character, but specific characters have this like very flat monotoneness to it. And as much as the guy who played King Triton,
Javier Bardem.
yes, as much as he was a fantastic King Triton, he actually did a very good job. I think his performance was very it didn't feel very emotional. It
Mm,
didn't feel like he gave us what I wanted. I wanted him to yell at Ariel and he didn't quite. He yelled, but it was very kind of bland and flat with it.
mhm.
And so I think
Didn't
it's
feel
been like
kingly. Didn't feel like he had that authority. You know.
yeah, it didn't feel like he was putting a lot of emotion into it. And I think that's what they've done with a lot of these live actions, especially something like a live action, we're gonna say in quotes, Lion King. The Lion King was the exact way. It was visually stunning, but the performance was like there was no emotion in it.
So when it comes down to it, I think it's like the political stuff is annoying
Hmm.
and unnecessary, but when it comes down to it, really, the movie's bland.
Right.
It's not special.
It's
It's
it's bland and it's just a remake of the original to
yeah.
where why are we making another remake when we could be making something new?
Mhm.
We
Well,
could be
that's
creative
to
with
to be fair, they try to meet halfway with the new and say like, well, Snow White's going to be new because we're changing the story. You know what I mean? But they can
No.
still accomplish like the safety net of saying it's in a IP that we believe is going to work. That that's what they do. They always do sequels, prequels, and remakes. So what they do is they try to remake or do something new inside of that boundary, I guess.
I
Yeah.
this is what I predict about the movie. There's been a lot of hype around Rachel Ziegler saying things in interviews,
Mhm. Mhm.
but we do not actually know what this movie's about. I predict it's going to be very, very similar to the original with a few changes, but most likely it's going to be very similar to the
And,
original,
and
and
she's just talking out of the side of her mouth.
I think she's just talking out of the side of her mouth.
She says some
And
crazy things for it to not actually be that way. She literally said, "We're not doing the story this way because it's creepy, it's wrong, it's out of date." That she literally said that stuff. So how would you make an exact remake when she basically demonized and said, "We are not doing that," you know?
I mean, the love story was important, and I think it was a key thing with the original. But if you think about it, the love story's not the whole movie. It
Yeah,
was
it
about
really is back burner for like
it.
most of the movie.
Yeah, it's like the spindle wheel and
No, the spindle wheel,
or no,
Sleeping
no.
Beauty.
What I'm thinking of sleep. I'm thinking of Sleeping
Yeah,
Beauty.
the
Well,
magic
there's
But
mirror.
no, it is
Mirror,
very
yeah.
back burner. It's not. It's like the dwarfs and um the her going and living with them. That it's a lot. There's a lot to it
Yeah.
outside
Escaping
of
the queen who wants to kill her.
yeah. So I think she just doesn't know what she's talking about, Rachel Ziegler.
Yeah, it's probably most likely gonna be a poor facsimile of the original where all of her comments are basically they're just like putting a storyline that's on the back burner in the original movie just kind of on the back burner even more. And
Mhm.
so she's just like, it's so empowering, it's so, but it's probably just going to be a similar movie.
But
Yeah.
we know the dwarves, it's not gonna be similar. We got regular sized people.
Well, that's a issue that people are trying to make more of an issue than
Yeah,
is
and
the issue.
and we don't know exactly if those are the dwarves. I mean, we've seen pictures, but we don't
Hard
have like
confirmation.
hard confirmation.
I suppose. So you think you actually think that, you know, with Snow White, it's gonna be similar to Little Mermaid, where we think it's this big woke thing, and in some ways there is, but ultimately it's just a remake that's boring of the
Mhm.
original.
Yeah, I would agree.
And they're hoping it
Um,
makes
I
a lot of money.
I yeah, and I think the only reason why they're letting Rachel Ziegler continue to talk out of her butt per se is because is because it's getting a lot of anticipation for the film, and I think that's the
Mm.
only reason why they're letting her continue and not just saying, "Shut up."
Yeah, all press is good press kind of mentality, I guess.
Mm,
Yeah, because
Yeah.
not if it gets literally, completely obliterated before it's out. I don't think
Well,
that's
I don't
yeah,
know. But they were saying the same thing, and we were saying the same thing about Little Mermaid when everybody was like, "Oh, they race swapped Ariel.
Mhm.
Oh no, and this, and it was bad." And then
No, we
now
didn't say
Disney,
people aren't gonna watch it. I really think people might not show up for Snow White because it just looks terrible and people are angry at it, you know?
We gotta
I
see
don't
some
know.
trailers. I don't think we're gonna know until we see some trailers.
We
Alright,
have
Uh,
not seen anything yet.
Once we see those, I think that's going to start the debate back up,
right.
start getting people fired up again. Because, the I mean, The Little Mermaid didn't do like incredible numbers. What did it
Mhm.
do overall?
Let me take a look. The Little
Mhm.
Mermaid, let's see, The Little Mermaid. It did, um did I pass it?
You're
This
going
number
so fast.
says
Here we go.
569 mil
Yeah, worldwide. It's
I mean,
it's,
that's not
worldwide.
bad.
That's not terrible.
no, it's not bad.
It also cost $200 million to make.
So it
And
made a little bit now.
let's just assume because that's what they're saying that they're getting as many views on the movie to Disney Plus as what they say.
Mhm.
Let's just assume that that's true.
Okay.
Um, that's also getting a lot of views on Disney Plus. It's getting them probably new subscribers, maybe.
I don't think
I
it's
don't
Mm,
know.
I
subscribers.
don't think so. I don't think they're necessarily getting new subscribers from from this. Now let me show you this. Let me share this tab. Okay, so as far as subscribers go for Disney Plus, this is Statista.
Mhm.
Statista. So they've jumped up to like their highest year quarter was in 2022, and
Mhm.
where they reported, I guess this is, yeah, so this is in the millions, 164 million subscribers. And then since then, they've slowly lost subscribers down to 146.7 million subscribers to Disney Plus. Those are paying customers. I don't know that necessarily a bunch of people signed on to Disney Plus to watch Little Mermaid. Maybe a few people did, but ultimately they can pull 16 million out of this pool, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's the front
But
thing you're
that's kinda
advertising.
that's kind of still that's kinda low numbers. Just 16 out of what, 140 something?
Yeah, 146.
Yeah, but let's think of it like a subscriber thing. Let's think of it as YouTube terms because
Mhm.
we know we can actually view YouTube's algorithm and stuff.
Well,
So a channel
not
that has
necessarily. It's free. It's free to watch The Little Mermaid. You're already a subscriber.
okay, no, but
146
we're only
million.
gonna count subscribers. So let's say a channel that has 10 million subscribers
Mhm.
only on average gets 150,000 views
Mhm.
per video.
Okay.
That's equivalent to what they're doing.
Mm,
Most channels that have about 10 million subscribers are only getting about, sometimes they'll get a million for specific videos, but they're only getting, 150, 200 per video
Mm.
sometimes.
not for 10 million subscribers. Maybe no, for like a million or 2 million subscribers, you're getting on average 100,000 views.
I don't think it, like, overall, it matters too much. I mean, honestly, when you look at the big picture, they're not making a ton of money off of 16 million views from people who are already subscribed.
Yeah,
That's money
essentially
they've
no
it's
money.
money they've already made. And,
This
uh,
is just a vanity metric that they're trying to be like, "Hey, we're really cool. Look at us."
I feel like it's more like it's and movie studios have done this for a long time. It's an attempt to, continue to bring light to projects that they don't want to that they still wanna, make some money off of.
Right?
So reporting the numbers, getting some press out there for the movie to maybe get people to come on and get a subscription or whatever, watch the
Mhm.
movie. That's I mean, that's what companies do.
Right.
Um, but yeah, that's that. That's all I gotta say
That's
on that.
life.
Let's transition
That's
to The
life.
Nun, if you guys don't mind.
The nun.
The Nun.
I
Reason
don't got a
being.
lot to
She's
say
a
about this.
nun.
I don't got a lot to say about this because I don't want to be watching The Nun. I
All
need to
right,
be watching it.
The Nun 2. All right. Kicks off box office with 32.6 million domestic opening. That's not that
Mhm.
impressive when you compare it to, I don't know, the Barbie movie, but this is actually a pretty good opening. It came in first, pushing Equalizer 3 into second place. Um, and so this is the biggest opening for
Who
this
went and
past
watched
weekend.
Equalizer 3? I feel like I didn't hear that from anybody.
Some
I
people watching it, and and so the Nun, this is actually some other metrics I wanted to bring up. So let me share this tab. So this doesn't
Mm.
have everything, but the basic numbers for some of these movies in the Conjuring universe, right?
Mhm.
Opening weekend for The Conjuring's 41, The
Yeah.
Nun 53, The Conjuring 2's 40, Annabelle Creations 35, Annabelle 37, Annabelle Comes Home 20 million, right? 24 million, 26 million. It varies, but it's kind of predictable. And it kind of seemed like The Nun 2 hit right in the middle of where the
Mhm.
prediction is, right? So with those numbers, we're kind of seeing that this franchise is consistently and almost planned to make a certain amount of money. Why do you think it
Mhm.
is that these movies so constantly, consistently get like the same amount of business, same amount of cash flow, you
It's
know?
horror movies, dude.
But
People
not
want
Yeah,
to
all
watch
horror
horror
movies
movies.
perform like the same way every time. You know what I mean?
but the same people who are watching these horror movies, The Conjuring, are gonna be watching Annabelle. The same people
Well,
that
it's
are
all in the same
watching
universe.
Mhm.
yeah, one person that's invested to it is gonna be invested to all of them
Yeah,
because
the horror
they just
movie
enjoy it.
crowd is
It's
they love horror movies.
the same as, like, Fast and Furious,
Mhm.
uh, fans. They're just the same movie. There's not a lot new with the Fast and Furious movies
Yeah.
when you watch the next one, but the fans are still invested. They're still getting those views because people are like, I started with Paul, and I'm gonna end with Momoa."
I mean, yeah, and I think it goes down to, like, even just preference. You like drama movies, you watch drama movies.
Right.
You like, rom-coms, you watch rom-coms, all
Mhm.
of them. Sci-fi, anything. You people have genres that they really like, and,
Mhm.
for some people, the horror drama or the horror genre is
Their thing.
it's their thing, and they watch all of them.
Now I'll say
And
this,
those people
go ahead.
are eating Hot Pockets,
No, they're not.
and they have
Yep.
dyed black jet hair.
Yeah.
No, they
Black hair.
don't.
Yes.
No, they don't.
Eyeliner,
I,
Yes.
furry ears.
I have watched most of these. I watched The Nun. I've watched, uh,
I've
all
seen
the
you in eyeliner.
Conjurings. What?
I said I've seen you in eyeliner.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't. I've seen all the Annabelles. There's, uh, I guess I'm not like a big horror movie guy. Like if there's a big phenomenon one, I'll watch it. So like Smile, I watched it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'll watch The Nun too because these kind of stand above the rest. There's a lot of movies that come out, but these really stand above the rest. And so I'm just trying to figure out why is the Conjuring universe how many movies deep? Like 11 movies, 10 movies
Yeah.
in. Why is it still predictably doing just as well when you got Annabelle, The Conjuring, and The Nun? You got 3 spin-offs
I
in the same universe.
I have a theory.
Okay.
What's your
I
theory?
think they have lowered their, um they've lowered their need for money,
Speed? Oh.
their need for speed. Well, and then they've maximized, what they can do in the movie with the movie for as little money as possible so that
Right.
they make as much money as possible, even though it's not gonna be 500,000,000 or $1,000,000,000. If they make $100,000,000, awesome. If they make
And globally, like
$50,000,000,
globally, they're making at least 100,000,000
yeah,
globally, you know?
and
They're making money.
I think, they have a system that they know it works. They know they're gonna make money, and they know that it's like, we can consistently keep making this for a
Mhm.
certain price and always make money off of it. So why not just keep making them?
Why not just keep doing it?
Mhm.
That makes sense. I mean, and as far as business-wise, that is just good business decisions, I think,
Yeah.
you know? Check this out. So, Annabelle Creation,
What?
this is actually the most indie of the Conjuring universe movies. The guy who
Mhm.
did Shazam, who directed Shazam, did Annabelle Creation. Um,
Okay.
I think this is Annabelle 3. I think that's one. So it's kind of like a prequel to Annabelle. It jumps the timeline's all over the place when it comes to these movies, but globally, for the gross worldwide, is 300 million for Annabelle
Mhm.
Creation, and the budget
15.
15 mil. All right, that's
Mhm.
impressive.
And
That's
Yeah.
very
here's the
impressive.
thing with these, like, sequel in universe, you know, horror movie tacked on to other horror movies. You don't have to advertise a whole bunch. You make some trailers, throw them up on YouTube, get
Right.
maybe a spot on TV, um, and, if you're really wanting to throw some dough, put one up in the Super Bowl,
No.
and you're gonna make your money back. You're gonna make more
Yeah.
than your money back.
Have you seen horror movies advertised at the Super Bowl before?
I feel like.
I don't know. Are they allowed
I
to?
don't It's kind of a weird time because the Super Bowl is always in February, and they don't release that kind of stuff till, like, now,
I don't know.
basically,
I was just
September,
making an
October.
example.
Right, right. Now I'm just curious about the Super Bowl. How who's allowed to watch that?
What's the
Who's allowed to
new
see it? Trailers for that kind of
the
stuff.
movie with the hand? Do you know what I'm talking about, Joseph?
Yeah, yeah. Don't
Can you
breathe. No, that's not it.
Hand.
Let me look it up. Share your thoughts while
the
I'm looking.
um, I just wanted to kinda look this up because you were talking about indie horror films right now, and this is kind of one that we never really talked about because 'cause we're not really into the horror genre, but the 2 YouTubers made it, the Raka Raka twins, and they just sold it to A24, I
Mm-hmm.
think was the company they sold it to, and
Yeah.
apparently I heard it did really well.
Let's see. Just while I'm looking up, just to take note for everybody,
What was the
I
name
need
of it?
to. Well, I haven't found it yet. We need to
Oh,
watch The Voyage of the Last Demeter, and also I need to watch The Boogeyman, just so
Okay.
Boogeyman.
just as a self note, because those
Yeah.
are a couple I need to watch.
Yeah. No, I need to watch The Voyage of the Last Demeter just because vampires. I like vampires.
Hmm. It's actually out now on streaming.
Is it really?
Talk to Me, Joshua is the name of the movie.
Yes.
Talk to Me.
Can you look
Talk
that up?
to
I'm just curious how that
me,
did. How
Lord.
much they
Talk to me.
Right, right, right. So let me do this.
this
Uh,
has been a couple of weeks or a month or so since it's come out, but
okay, so Talk to Me. Let's see what kind of. Do they have any big stars in this, or are these all known, like smaller actors?
Let me see.
I have
See if I
not seen the movie,
recognize
so I don't know.
anybody. Um.
So they sold this movie off of. Oh, there we go. We know her. She's in
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yes,
don't recognize anybody else.
Miranda Otto. Let's see. Budget. Budget
4 mil.
4.5 million.
Wow.
Gross worldwide 67 million.
They
That's
made their
pretty
money.
good. They barely opened were like overseas. Almost
Yeah.
their entire income's from US and Canada.
But that's
Yeah.
pretty good numbers.
Those are really good numbers. Those
I
are
mean,
really
for
good
4
numbers.
mil, yeah.
$4 million budget movie. Oh, if I had $4.5 million to make a movie,
Mhm.
that would be so much
Get
fun,
it
wouldn't it?
done. Get it done. The thing is, though, if you making a movie like that, it's it's not always guaranteed to get sold to, like,
Mhm.
A24, so it'll go to theaters. It's always like, "You're gambling on this. Am I gonna lose my money, or am I not gonna make all the money back?"
Right.
I'll make a
Well,
little
if
bit,
the
but I probably won't make
YouTubers
all
were
I might not make it
decent,
all back.
if these YouTubers were good with money and they just, were out of pocket being able to pay the $4.5 million to make the movie, um, then that's good. Obviously, if you don't have that income like as liquid as kind of just like investment money,
Mhm.
Mhm.
then obviously never invest like that. That's kind of like financial ruin money if you're not ready for it.
Yeah.
But it seems like these YouTubers had a pretty good YouTube career to get that kind of money.
Yeah.
Seems like it anyways.
Like, was that all we were, talking about?
I think
That's
so.
it. That's
That's the
it.
show.
Let's watch. Let's go watch Voyage of the Last Demeter. How about that? Yeah.
That sounds
Sure.
good.
Sure.
And we'll see you guys next time. On Friday, we have a podcast that goes out live on this
Mhm.
channel. So if you're watching this, tune in live at noon, or just tune in at any point in the afternoon on Friday, so you can
Or
check
it's
out the
already out on
podcast.
Patreon. It's already out on Patreon.
It
If you
is on
wanna watch it
Patreon.
now, go subscribe to the Patreon to watch it.
Links in the description. Thank you guys so much. We love you. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening and day tomorrow. We'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.